Hello there, mom and child. Welcome to Kids and Mom. On today's show, we will be talking about manners and etiquette in children. I do not want you to go anywhere because today is going to be an awesome episode with me. I remain your host, Yele, and I'll be right back on Kids and Mom. Welcome back. On today's episode on manners and etiquettes for children, I have a very good friend of mine on the show today. Tola and I have been friends running 10 to 15 years, and I've seen her be a mother. She is an amazing mother. Hi, honey. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody.
My name is Tola. I'm a life coach, a writer, and an accountant by training.
Wow, you are a life coach, a writer, and an accountant by training.
Yeah.
That's an amazing fit for a very beautiful young woman like yourself.
I take that as a great compliment.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we're going to go straight into the questions for today. Now, I know that you have two amazing children whom I love very much. And it's always a joy to see them. But one of the things I enjoy seeing about them is the way they are well balanced and they are trained and how they function like mini adults. So I want you to teach us today, in your words, what do you think etiquette mean? And how important is this to children? And how young should we as mothers instill the training of etiquette in our children? So they're like three questions in one. What is etiquette? How important is it to children? And, how early should mothers instill that in their children?
Etiquette is, I would say, a code of conduct, a code of behavior in a particular social gathering, in a society, in a professional environment, So the importance of etiquette in children. Etiquette is very important in children. I mean, you can't overemphasize that because whatever you start to teach your children from where they are young is what they eventually become as adults. So it's very important to start from an early age to start grooming your children well.
At what age should we begin to instill this etiquette in our children? When do you think they need to start knowing, things like, you need to give me examples of etiquettes for children. Do you understand? So give me an example and then tell us how early should we teach our children this lifestyle.
Okay. I mean, like I said, etiquette is about having good manners. So you should start as early as possible. And when I say as early as possible, from 2 years, you find out these children, they know so much, they are open to so much. And you can't wait until they become 10 or 12 before you want to start imbibing those good manners in them. It's important, you teach them at home. You tell them to say please. You tell them to say thank you. There are certain things you tell them that when two adults are talking, they don't interrupt. They say, excuse me. You tell them to take turns, in trying to help themselves, no rushing. They should be patient, You allow other people to exercise their rights as well because we're all human beings, You allow people to take their turns, don't rush, don't argue, don't, that place of being able to comport yourself, being polite to other people, irrespective of when you have differing opinions.
So mothers, you've learned out there that it is very, very important to teach your children at an early age about etiquette. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Kids and Mom. Welcome back. Before we went on break, Tola was talking to us about how early it is to instill etiquette manners in our children. And, she gave us a few examples on what she had taught her children at home. So right now, I just want to ask her a couple of more questions. I want her to give me, can you give me a very good example of good manners that children are supposed to have in the home? Like on a day-to-day basis, so that parents will be able to understand that what they can watch out for, in their children's behavioral pattern when they're training them and grooming them up.
Okay. All right. On a day-to-day basis, I think the most important thing is to teach them how to be independent mini adults, and it starts by when they wake up in the morning, you say good morning to yourselves, you say good morning to your parents, to your dad, to your mom, When you finish eating, you take your plates to the kitchen. I mean, that's why some people grow up as adults and they misbehave because they don't know how to do some certain things. When you finish eating, you take your plates to the kitchen, you come back from school, you unwrap your uniform, after you must have folded it in school in your bag, you unwrap it, you bring out your shoes, you bring out your socks, you place everything in the right places. You don't just fling anything anywhere because you feel it's someone else's job to do it. It's all about being responsible for yourself, And when everybody learns to be responsible, even from a very tender age, they usually end up becoming responsible adults.
It goes on to say that, when you raise well-cultured and well-mannered children, they bring you joy. Because we live in Africa, we have a lot of idioms in different cultures that talk about the fact that if you train up your child well, when they're grown up, they bring you honor in return for the training that you have given to them. Now, Tola, you've given a lot of examples about, what to do when you come back home. But to the children, this is to parents to supervise the children. But to the children, what kind of examples can you give to them that they can quickly learn and maybe even tell their mommy, that mommy, I learned this on Kids and Mom? What are the tiny little, etiquette training that you can give us right now?
Like I said, it's good to, be respectful to people, to yourselves, to your friends, not just when you're talking to adults. Be respectful to your friends. You treat them with respect. You honor other people, not pushing people, not shoving people aside. You allow people to express their opinion when they have something to talk about. And you don't look down on them because they have a different opinion from what you are saying. Just be patient, listen to them. When you want to play maybe at the playground, you want to play with toys, you take turns. You don't push people, just watching out for the other person, being caring, I think those would help you to have good manners.
A lot of the things that Tola is saying right now are the things that I believe that my mom, and our mothers put in us when we were growing up. And I think it's just natural. It's a natural order of transfer, I want to say, for mothers to be able to put that in their children and teach them to teach their children as well. Thank you so much for coming onto this show. It was such an honor to have you here. Now I know exactly why your girls behave the way they do. Because they have an amazing mom like you. Okay, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Kids and Mom, and I have more in store for you. Thank you, and see you soon.
My name is Okeolu Asheun. I'm 13. I want to be an astronaut because I watch documentary and I see them going to the space, coming back safe. Nothing happened to them and they are good. And I love it. And a scientist because my role model is a scientist, Thomas Edison. He invent and I also want to invent different things that have never been invented before. Like Thomas Edison invents light. He was the first person to invent light and the first person to invent camera with flash. I would like to invent a plane that uses solar power. I'll need to go for science class and take English subjects, maths, basic science. I'll need to focus in school, go to university, study hard to get there. I love playing football and swimming. My advice for them is to focus on their studies and not to misplace the opportunity they have now. And they should not look down at themselves. They should not have self-esteem. Anything they do not have, they should pray to God and let them have it. So they're going to get there and they should not look down at themselves. Once again, my name is Okeolu Asheun and you're watching Kids and Mom.
Did you know that it is physically impossible for pigs to look up into the sky? Did you know that if you sneeze too hard, you could fracture a rib? Did you know that wearing headphones for just an hour could increase the bacteria in your ear by 700 times? Welcome back to Kids and Mom. On this segment of the show, I want to talk to you about tips on how to potty train your children. I understand that this could be like a tough thing to do for some parents because some children just do not want to be potty trained. And some parents start out too late, to potty train their children, and then it gives them a lot of issues. So with these few tips I'm going to give you right now, I want to believe that it's going to help you to be able to potty train your children effectively and in time as well. So number one, you need to start potty training your children from the ages of 2 to 4 years old. Make it like a structured training. Like give yourself a timeline, in the next 2 years from 2 to 4, my child is going to be fully and effectively potty trained. Do not give lapses, Don't be too hard on your child, but do not give excuses and say that, oh, he's just a child, she's just a child, or procrastinate. That's dangerous. You cannot procrastinate potty training. You have to start potty training at the age of 2 and give yourself a maximum of 2 years to be able to do what you need to do to get your child potty trained. Number 2 is you should always supervise your child. An adult should always supervise the child. You cannot potty train the child and let the child be alone or by himself or herself. They are children, So they would probably be distracted by something, pull something they're not supposed to. I don't see anything wrong in it. I also need to say this to mothers. Do not expect your child to have such a strong retentive memory that they will remember what you told them the last time you took them through a potty training exercise. You need to understand that their brains and their developments are growing, Their brains are being formed, and the functions of the brain and the personality is being developed as they're growing up. You need to soften the pedal, but don't procrastinate and don't go lax on your work. Avoid bladder issues. You need to teach your child not to hold urine in. It has a long-standing medical effect on your children. Don't tell them, some parents take their child out on the road and the child will be like, Mommy, I want to potty. And Mommy is like, hold that wee till we get home. That is very, very dangerous. It is not good for you to teach your child to hold in, what is meant to be taken out of the body. You need to teach your child that it is not good to hold in wee or urine or whatever it is. But be there to help them and guide them so that they will know exactly when they need to go to the toilet. They know exactly what to do. Also, be patient with your child. Like I told you earlier, you cannot expect a 2-year to 4-year-old child to have a very strong retentive memory. Their brains and their personalities and their behaviors are still developing. They are being formed by life experiences. So you need to take it easy with your children. You need to be patient with yourself. I need to be patient with your children. Do not think that you're not doing a good job. You're an amazing mother and you're doing the best for your child. And do not be afraid to ask for outside help. Read books on how to be to effectively potty train and get information from, sources that are very reliable on how to get very good potty training exercises for your child. And lastly, you should never compare your child to other children. Never, ever. Every child is unique. Every child is special. Every child is beautiful, created by God to fulfill a certain purpose on earth. So do not compare your child to others. Some people blossom late in life. Some people are very quick to blossom. It does not mean that one is better than the other. It just means that their time development is different. Do not compare your child. Do not compare the way they are learning with other children. Do not make them feel inadequate or make them feel less than they are. So with these few tips of mine, I hope I've been able to teach you today on how to potty train your child effectively. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Kids and Mom. Thank you so much for tuning in with me on today's show. It was very entertaining and enlightening. Today we learned about how to, instill manners and etiquette in our children, and also how to potty train our children. I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned something today. And I know very much that you're going to be a more effective mother by the things that you've learned. So until I see you same place, same time, same station, remain an awesome mother. And remember that Kids and Mom, we rock. God bless you and see you next time.